Buenos dias! ¿Cómo estás? We are so excited, Rafael and I, to introduce today on JCB Live Wine Styles, an incredible recipe. It's gonna be so amazing because it's gonna be something you're gonna be able to do in your house. What are we gonna have?
Well, thank you. Today we're gonna be making a beautiful, nice homemade chips with the tortilla shells, and also we're gonna be making some ceviche with some. We're gonna be pairing it with the nicest.
The nicest wine on earth! Ladies and gentlemen, we paired Imaginarium, so podemos juntos decir salud, amor y
vida.
Quizás no tenemos pesetas más. So, amor, salud,
y vida.
amor y sexo.
Oh.
Did I say that? This is to anticipate the spice of the food we're gonna have.
Perfect.
Well, taste and tell me if it's that perfect.
Perfect. It's gonna go very well with the salsa fresca, the guacamole we're gonna be making also, and the chips and the ceviche. It's gonna be amazing.
Why?
So
let's get going. But
let's get going.
Dear friends, what is amazing? It's a wine that is a méthode traditionnelle, meaning fermentation in the bottle. Very cool, isn't it? Dosage, very, very light. We went 8 grams in order to be fabulously paired with food. The lower dosage you go, either you have it pure or you have it with food. Specifically when it's spicy, I feel it's amazing. This wine is very simple. You start with Uniblon, which is a great area for the southwest for cognacs, but as well the Loire Valley. You move then, of course, to Chenin Blanc, another great variety, Maine-et-Loire. Chardonnay, of course, the queen, the king. And then we finish with a French touch called French Colombar. So 4 white grape variety, which will be paired magnificently. Maravilloso.
Maravilloso.
Un sueño de la vida.
Vamos empezando, pero
Empezamos. Another toast.
Another toast, por favor.
It's not Cinco de Mayo, but we're going back in time. We're celebrating again. What a great memory.
Well, this recipe is really easy to make at home for, super simple. I mean, anybody can make it. I'm gonna do 3 different ways, and with the base of sauce they're gonna be making. This is you're gonna be able to do whether it's salsa fresca, whether it's guacamole, or the same base of the tomatoes, onion, cilantro, and jalapeno, salt, and pepper, and it goes well. You're gonna mix it up with your diced fish or the ceviche. So we're gonna start with...
I just wanted to point out those gorgeous hair. So he puts a little oil in his hair. This is why it's so beautifully black and shiny. So that's another recipe from Chef. That's the way he treats his fabulous hairline.
So for this recipe, you can use fish of your choice, but I like to use Petrale and Ceviche. I mean Petrale. It is super, I like because it doesn't have a lot of the fish flavor. It's just nice and fresh for all for the fish. So I'm gonna dice the fish
in a little square. What about if we like triangles?
Triangles.
Can we do triangles geometrically? It's quite interesting too. I'm gonna challenge the chef today because it's too easy for him. He's been cooking Mexican food since birth, right, Rafael?
Oh, absolutely. This recipe is coming from my mom. We used to make when we were a kid. We would like go to pick some avocados.
Of course.
From Michoacan, of course, you got tons of avocados over there. So you dice your fish.
I like this movement.
Have a nice
knife.
Nice sharp knife.
Very gentle.
So about a pound. I would do about a pound of fish.
It's a little frozen a little bit, huh? A little cold.
It's cold.
Cold.
It's been in the fridge. I'm not frozen. No, we use frozen stuff.
Good. I just wanted to make sure. All pure, all from the garden. So this is why we look so gorgeous and healthy.
Every time. Always.
Hey, I've been practicing my weight this week.
Oh yeah?
I'd like to do a little fist fight today.
Yeah, we should do that.
Can we do it?
Absolutely.
Huh? With the champagne.
Yeah.
I have a chance because he's very strong. The more he drinks, the better chance I have. What about another little taste?
That's
Hey, you don't want to let that getting too warm on you.
Delicious. So I have. There we go. So, put them in the bowl.
Okay. So far we can do.
Yeah. And then you're gonna put about 5 limes and about 2 lemons. You're gonna let it marinate for at least an hour. If you leave it overnight, even better.
That I can help, maybe.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Yeah.
You see, if I can be useful in life, you see, I'm typically the sous chef at home. I put the table and set the table, clean the table, wash the dishes, you know. That's what a husband needs to do at home. And I hope every man follows my wonderful suggestions.
And then already
I need some practice.
Some of the fish already cooked. It's been cooked, marinated and cooked in the citrus. Because if ceviche has to be cooked and citrus, not like boiling over.
How long do you suggest?
These at least I would say at least 2 hours.
2 hours.
And for these one you can even do shrimp. The same process. Ceviche, octopus. The octopus, of course, you have to cook it first, and then you dice it and put it in. For the
you know what I like to do with the octopus? That's an old recipe and we've talked about it before. And Michael Curello does it very well here at his restaurant in Youngville, Bottega. And it's an old trick from Thailand. You put that in a washing machine.
Oh yeah.
You put that in washing bags and you do one cycle, typically 30, 45 minutes. And then it makes the muscles of the octopus very tender. And then you prepare it the way you typically do. And you know, octopus could be sometimes a little harsh, specifically with ceviche, and it becomes very tender, melting. And it goes amazing with bubbles as well.
So before you do anything else, I suggest to remove some of the liquid, which is the fish has been sitting on. You want to get rid of it, and then you can add some more fresh citrus in it. I want to remove some of the liquid.
You keep the liquid for something else afterwards?
No, that's this garbage pretty much. And then you should add like about 2 tablespoons of cilantro. And then I have some diced tomatoes, and about 5 tablespoons of onions. Red onion, white onion, whatever you want to put in it, it's perfect. And about 1 jalapeno seeded. That's it. So for this recipe, this one's ready to go. I'm gonna put a little bit of cilantro in there. And this one, like, for this recipe, this one, like, you use it as a salsa fresca or, pico, or what do you call pico de gallo?
Yeah.
A lot of people know.
Pico de gallo.
Pico de gallo, salsa fresca. So this one.
And he's doing only 1 jalapeno very kindly for me because Frenchman has a sensitive tongue. And we want to make sure we enjoy it with wine. So the more spice you go, it's actually very good with Chenin, French Colombard, Uni Blanc. You know, it's a beautiful counteractor in the sensory palate to spice. But when it's too spicy, I don't think it's that enjoyable. And it kills off in the wine. So a good balance is important.
Yeah. So this one I'm going to put about 2 lemons for the salsa fresca. So this I'm showing you the salsa fresca process. So this one is just, if you really want, like I said, for this one is like the base.
Gorgeous.
I like this is like the base for almost everything you want to make. I like to use this one for if you want to make guacamole. Then you just get a couple tablespoons with the citrus and everything and pour over your guacamole and it's done. It's quick. So if you're making guacamole, chips and salsa, you got your pico de gallo and then you have your for your ceviche and for your guacamole.
So multi-use.
Multi-use.
So we better learn how to do this correctly.
So nice, be generous in the salt. You're gonna marinate, and it's perfect. And I would let you be the judge.
Oh, thank you. This is my favorite moment, dear friends. Mmm. Guess what's happening in my mouth? A little fire.
So for the guacamole,
he did it on purpose. He
Got
gave
you.
you the spoon with the jalapeno.
then for the
But I'm
guacamole,
glad because, you know, I've been home a lot, and which is very exciting, is jalapeno is an aphrodisiac too, so. It's an exciting thing to know that all those spices are very good for you.
yeah.
And very healthy to clean up your body, so. So we're cutting the avocado now.
Got the avocado, scoop it out, right? Perfect.
So that's the guacamole
That's
side.
the guacamole.
If you don't mind, I'm going to try one just like this. Oh! I'm making everybody jealous here.
Yeah.
Homemade
This is perfect, like
chips.
homemade chips, homemade shells. I made the shells over there too.
But it's great because it's very healthy.
Yeah.
You know, we sometimes think, you know, the chips, maybe it is, but all the rest, you know, it's very healthy.
I'm doing
All
about
the
4
produce from the
avocados.
garden.
Depends where you how many people you feed, but I'm doing like four avocados. And it's
Okay.
easy. So at this point I'm just gonna smash it.
And you've had that all your childhood, huh?
Yeah. Right back home and right in my backyard. Tons of avocados.
That's right. The best place, Victoire.
I have
The
about-
best avocado in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, I have about 4 acres of plants avocados.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, we've tried here in Napa Valley, we've tried at the Raymond Garden. You know, the evenings could be too cold and sometimes it freezes, so it doesn't really
a lot of like good
work.
temperature. So like I said, for this recipe, it's simple and I just love it. I got the avocados there smashed chunky. I like it chunky to kind of like more on the smooth part. You can smash it more, work yourself around and make it nice. So like I said, for this one, I'm just gonna be generous. Like 1 tablespoon that, and then I have my guacamole, and maybe add a little bit more citrus in it.
Well, maybe as you're doing that, I think another interesting wine I'd love to see behavior with the food is maybe the Cremant du Jura from Henri Maire. You know, so dear friends, as Rafael is finishing his touch, Rafael, do you want to finish your glass so that we try another wine meanwhile? It's a very exciting wine to talk about. As we talk about terroir, like Michoacan, a great place for avocado. Raymond Vineyards, a great place for tomato, for onions, for cilantro, for everything else. Let's try one of our most historical winery. Woo-hoo! Love this! This is Henri Maire, Cremant du Jura, Jurassique. So, Rafael, I'd love for you to try, this is your glass, and tell me what you think as far as the flavor profile with the food, because I believe that's going to go very, very well. Wow. With the spice.
That is gonna go perfect with all the ingredients, with everything we make, with guacamole and the ceviche, of course.
And why is that, do you think? Because of the minerality of it?
The minerality and also the bubbles in it.
Yeah, very fine.
They're very fine, yes.
Yeah, so dear friends, this is a méthode champenoise as well. So traditional method. This is a wine from the Jura. So we call it the Jurassique, not Jurassic Park, from Stillbury, but almost Jurassic era, where Burgundy got split in half by the Saône River as a tectonic movement. Jura on one side, it's only 50 minutes from Beaune, less than an hour, and on the left side, or the western side, of course, Burgundy. Burgundy, Jura, so very close. Same grape varieties here. I'm a huge fan of this wine because one, it's not expensive, and I think it's always exciting when you make wine to prove that the wine doesn't have to be expensive to be great. I think that's important, and this is exactly the same as this appetizer. Not too expensive to produce, easy, and very refreshing, very healthy. Similar to this wine, so we had around $20 retail. Phenomenal aroma. I don't feel a lot of tropical fruit, mainly green apple, a little bit of citrus, fine, but pear and, you know, kind of those two on the nose, which makes it very complementary to the ceviche we have it. So very inviting nose, a little bit of richness as well. So nice butter invitation. Yes, and still wide, very wide. So it's going to appease any of the spice and the flavors we have. So it's a very new region introduced in the US, very old as a producer, because this winery is from the 17th century. So very, very cool. And this man, Mr. Henri Maire, was really the king of really presenting the region. And we own there over 260 hectares. The whole region is only 2,000 hectares. So very small region in perspective, 10% of Burgundy. And we own ourselves close to 18% of the entire planting of the region. So that allows us to do an amazing job with the Chardonnay, the Pinot Noir, and create, I really believe, the perfect marriage on the hillsides of old mineral Jurassic soil. All right, so look at that. Really gorgeous color. You know, I was commenting on the weekends of the power of color, whether it's on the canvas, but the power of color, as all of us being colorful people, each of us having a personality, and each of us having the right to express ourselves. And this is the same on the table, the same in the kitchen. I mean, look at this. This is a miracle of beauty.
So for the next step, I'm gonna make just a real quick tortilla chips and also the shell.
Of course.
Right?
We are ready. So we're going in.
Are we going in? That was in the fryer.
What kind of oil did you?
I'm using grapeseed.
Grapeseed
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
So we've talked about this before. Very easy for all of you, dear friends, to find grapeseed oil at your local supermarkets. We can obviously provide it for you. We make it here at Cremant. So after harvest, we take the little pits, we lay them down, dry them under the sun, and then press them. Very similar to olive press. So that is what it is. And why do we use grapeseed? Not only because we're in the wine country, because it's very healthy.
It's healthy.
Aha!
Cut them in squares.
Look at this.
And then that's it.
That's as simple as that.
Simple as that.
If I knew.
Yeah, right. We'll stop buying
Maybe I'm going to join you in the kitchen, as traveling is going to be very slow. I'm going to cook with you as we receive our guest.
Yeah. So it takes about...
Sounds scary.
It goes very quick, about 3 minutes, and they're pretty much done. Depends on the...
Okay.
Cooking at 350 degrees, the oil.
That's so cool. Well, it requires having that beautiful pan, though.
Yeah.
That pan is really practical.
Chips goes in. Stir them. As soon as you drop them, make sure you stir them so they don't get stuck.
We're going to show you at some stage dim sum. You know I love dim sum. We're going to show our friends. You use the same pot, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. One pot, multi-functions.
So we're pretty much done. So the fish, I have one that I'm marinate earlier. This was still marinated 2 hours, and then it should be ready to go. And then that's it. Chips done.
Well, I think it would be great to show you tasting it and describing it, because I want to talk about another wine too today, because often people think, oh, I'm going to have Pacifico beer, Modelo.
All this goes with it. Yes.
I'm going to go with beer. I love beer, of course, as we all do. But I think it's so exciting to be able to provide to your guests, to your friends, to your family, something a little more sophisticated. Why not bubbles? And there's another one I want us to talk about. I'm going to finish this, Rafael. I'm going to cheat for a second. Fantastic.
Easy. This is so amazing.
This is really cool because, you know, the summer being almost here, I believe June 20th, you know, the new moon is going to be starting as we speak now, keeping us up and alive. This was a marvelous weekend, by the way, with the moon. I hope everybody got a chance to look at it, observe it. So now we're going to go champagne. And I believe the succession is very cool because we have a French blend. We have then a Cremant du Jura Chardonnay Pinot. And now we're going to do a blend of Chardonnay Pinot again, but from Champagne. And I suggest today, Rafael, that we use our marvelous decanter that we designed. Wow. Isn't it great? So you could see the little grapes fermenting on the top. And you don't really need to cap it back necessarily, but it looks obviously beautiful. And the whole idea of decanting is basically to release more bubbles than the one we're going to release at the time of opening. So, trivia question. How many bubbles, more or less, in a bottle of champagne? 1 million. Ooh. More or less. You open it the way I will. You see the pressure, over 650 bars in here. Look at that. I'm going slowly. I love to do this. Oh! You see how fabulous it is? The old Buena Vista, the first in 1863 to actually prove to the US that we could do méthode champenoise, méthode traditionnelle in the history of the United States and California. Very cool. So the whole idea of the decanter is to facilitate more release of the bubbles and a finer bubble. So you break, Rafael, the molecular structure of those bubbles, so they become smaller, and we eliminate some as well. So roughly, maybe 600,000 bubbles at this stage in the, and which is so great, we let it go and escape. Look at this color. You see, a decanter is like a giant bubble, passion collection, meaning the old Marie Antoinette technique from 1785, when she really instructed a whole team at the Galerie des Glaces in Versailles to basically decant the champagne. It was a hit. Nobody had done it before, and it was a hit because the bubbles were smaller, finer, richer, and it was dancing on the lady's palate. So Rafael, you're going to try it. First, I'm going to show how beautiful it serves. Look at this. I mean, if you don't want a decanter that could be multi-purpose, that's the one to have. Because you could do white wine, you could of course do red wine. But the idea of doing that with champagne, you will amaze your friends because really nobody does it really yet. It's going to become a big trend. We're always ahead. And it's a trend that we're reintroducing because I wish we were there in 1785 with Marie Antoinette. It could have been fun to be in the 18th century. Maybe you were born already.
Yeah.
You believe in reincarnation, huh?
Yeah.
The Incas, the Mayas, descent believe in being reborn in a different way. Let's have a toast. We're obviously tasting in our Passion Collection wine glasses, and this is the champagne glass, quite open. Feel the aroma. Mm-hmm. You know which I love is with your ceviche. Oh yeah. The complementarity of the aroma with the guacamole, with, look at that gorgeous guacamole, and naturally the beautiful, so good looking, you know, I always smell everything, and I need to tell you the cilantro, the onions, and the
everything.
Green lemon or lime is adding such a dimension. I mean, look at how gorgeous this is. Look how nature is fabulous. You know, this is 10 beautiful slices. Perfect how nature is, right? Look at this avocado. And I do that on purpose for all of us to take time and give time to look, to observe how the shape, how the beauty of nature is all about. And I know you all do, but we live our life too fast. And often the period that we just experienced, the last 3 months, allow us to slow down and to really identify what is important and to highlight in our life in many ways how we want to live it. And I need to tell you, I'm going to spend a lot more time in the kitchen It's bad news for Rafael because I'm going to hang out a lot more with him. Not that we didn't. We already did a lot, but one of the sessions we're going to do soon is amuse-bouche too. I cannot wait for this one because this is actually one of the things I love the most. Not just like the steak tartare we did, but very sophisticated amuse-bouche when you have guests and you prepare minutiously those beautiful things. Oh,
cheers.
You gotta get closer. You gotta get closer here. Look at that.
So this is a finished product. This is the ceviche. It's just like a plain. So you want to start with my base of diced tomatoes, onion, jalapeno, and the spice you can go whatever you want. If you want it spicier, or you can balance it however you like. So onion, cilantro, very simple. And after that, like I say, you can use this is the base you can use for your guacamole. It's just make sure you add a little bit more citrus in it and a little more cilantro if you like. That all depends. But that's it. I use the same base for my ceviche, and then I make some tostadas. I mean the same thing. You can use with your chips, fry your chips. If you want to, for your family, they can dip on it, go in it. That's it.
Well, dear friends, what a fun time I've had. I'm very worried that Rafael makes things so easy. I tried so many of those recipes, always failed the first 2 times. Luckily, I have his speed dial number on my phone. So I failed on the donuts, I failed on the crepe. I burned half of the house on crepe Suzette with the cognac. Not to be surprised, I'm not really good in the kitchen. But this is so exciting, multi-purpose, multi-use of one base of a dish in multiple ways. And I think this is the very exciting part of life, is how to be oneself with multiple personalities, multiple behavior, multiple and diverse way of being. So we had a diverse way of making sparkling wine as well. Imaginarium, Blanc de Blanc, remember, Uni, of course, Chenin Blanc, Chardonnay, French Colombard. Very interested Blanc de Blanc. Cremant du Jura, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir. And then we continued, very historical winery, Buena Vista, the first winery in the state of California, the first one to actually make, méthode traditionnelle, méthode champenoise in 1863, allowed here to make a champagne from champagne. We're not calling it champagne just to say it's a nice word. We call it champagne because it is from Champagne. La Victoire, and I want to toast to this, Rafael, to the victory of all of us together in one world, cohabiting beautifully, loving one another, we hope, more. And I said we hope more. And I want to raise my glass to love, peace, happiness, and of course, this amazing dish that I will make this weekend.
Okay.